Hello and welcome to the 8th episode of Booktube Bestie. Why is this in my ear? In today's episode, we will be reading Vish from BooksWithV's favorite and least favorite reads of 2022. I'm trying to get better at explaining what these videos are every video, in case you haven't seen any of the other ones. Booktube Bestie is a series I do on my channel where I'm trying to see if my tastes align with the booktubers I watch. I made them give me a book off their best of the year list that they thought I would like, and I made them give me a book off their worst of the year list that they thought I would hate for the same reasons they hated. Hate is a strong word, but I'm using it. I mean it. And the idea is that if you give it 5 stars, I'll give it 5 stars. If you gave it 3 stars, I'll give it 3 stars. And so on. And so the way the points score at the end of this is a net value. You want it all to equal 0 at the end. That's it. Let's roll right into it. Vish. If lots of you guys don't know, I really enjoy Vish's channel. I first came across Vish, I think, in Erin's book club when they read the N.K. Jemisin, The Killing Moon. Is that the first or the second book? But that duology. And since then, I've really enjoyed Vish's channel. Vish reads an abundance of things, and I like that. And yeah, if you don't subscribe to Vish, you definitely should go check her out. She'll be linked in the description bar below. But let's get right into her picks. Also, I'm at my lake and we have like a whole mug situation, so I picked the sarcasm mug today. I don't know why, I just felt like I needed it. Vish chose for me 2 books that I never would have read, which is kind of fun. Like, I do think that's a lot of fun. She gave me for her best of the year Daughter of the Forest by Juliette Marillier. This is an old story. This came out in 1998, I think, the year after I was born. And I know literally nothing about this. I do have a lot of friends who loved this book and love Juliette's writing style in it. I know Maria liked it. I think Kristen liked it too. And yeah, I don't know, obviously Vish liked it, so I am excited to try it, but it's a book that was not on my TBR. It was not on my radar. I didn't think I would love it, but I'm excited to see if I like it now. And then for worst of the year, Vish gave me a book that I've actually unhauled. I purchased it and I unhauled it, but luckily I am a terrible person. I unhaul my books and then they get put into a bag and they stay in this bag for a really freaking long time and I never get rid of them. So I unhauled this like I think a year ago, but I still have it. So I took it out of its little hiding department in this bag, and it is The Unbroken by C.L. Clarke. I bought this right when it came out. It was part of that sapphic trifecta that was going around, and I was really intrigued by it, and then so many reviews kept coming out. They were mixed reviews. Lots of people I really liked. I think Erin said it was really boring, so I unhauled it. And now here it is on the worst books of the year for someone, and I'm nervous, and I want to see if me unhauling it was a good thing. Was I right when I unhauled it? We will see. Because there is so much about this that sounds interesting to me. It is a non-Western setting. We have a sapphic relationship. We have a military fantasy, which, like, if you were part of my channel last year, a lot of the things I talked about in the beginning of the year was like my love for military fantasy. That's still a thing. I've just read not a lot lately. So maybe I'll love this because I do love a good military fantasy. So yeah, I'm excited. We follow 2 characters, both females. One is a soldier and one is a princess, and I think that there's bedrooms and war rooms. Terrain and Luca will haggle over the price of a nation, but some things aren't for sale. I don't really know a lot about this. Hopefully future Cassidy won't fail you in this video and she will tell you what these books are about when she has a better idea. I'm puzzling. I started The Unbroken and I'll keep you guys updated. So far, I'm actually really intrigued, and I really liked the language that has been used in this one so far. I think I'm about a chapter in. And I like our protagonist so far. The goal of this is to finish this puzzle within this vlog, but I don't think it's gonna work, but I will do some progress clips along the way. Oh yeah, this is what the puzzle looks like. It's like a cute little cat in the library.
Do you just like zoom it off?
You just grab it.
Really quickly.
You have to pull it
flip straight up really quickly.
Do it over the table so it doesn't go all over the ground.
You want to watch a video first?
No.
Really quickly.
You need to do it the other. Yeah.
I'm in the middle, I think, somewhere.
No, near the edges. I feel like.
Ready?
Nick, yeah.
Really quickly.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Yeah. I don't trust myself at all.
You can do it. What's the worst? You're gonna get rid of it anyways.
2.
Yeah! Good job.
Not expecting that to hurt.
To hurt.
Okay, you guys are back into the cupboard today because I feel like everyone enjoyed it, and we're gonna do a little bit of cooking while I talk through the story with you. I am about 60-70 pages into The Unbroken, but before I discuss that with you, I'm gonna show you what we're making. So we're making these. I saw this Instagram reel the other day, and my sister and me tried to make it and we failed miserably, so today I am trying to redo it and make it really well, so you'll just get like some B-roll of me making it while I talk to you about this. I already said that. Wow, Cassidy. Anyways, I'm a decent way through the start of The Unbroken, and I'm a little bit bored. I'm a little worried because I just have challenges with fantasy books that have such a heavy romance plot. I find I either want more of the fantasy or I want more of the romance, and there's not really a lot of in between. And that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. Like, I'm like, okay, we're kind of just like trying to build, I think, like some tension between our two characters, but like I just want the military part and the fantastical part, or I'm like, give me good scenes with the princess, and I'm getting neither. Also, I feel like this is just really, really low fantasy. The trifecta of sapphic books, this one, The Jasmine Throne, and She Who Became the Sun, I've heard mixed reviews on all of them. I did really like She Who Became the Sun, and I did unhaul both this and The Jasmine Throne, but picked it up again for this video, obviously. So yeah, I don't have a lot more thoughts than that, but I just wanted to say that at this point I'm still skeptical and there's not a lot going on, and I want more battle. Like, I'm expecting more military fantasy the way that this one had been set, if that makes sense. Let's see if the food turns out. How did you do this so effortlessly? Holy shit. I fucked this up.
Jabby. This one looks okay. That one does not look okay. Welcome to my masterclass.
That was so much better than what I did.
Boom, boom, boom.
It did work better. I think I put too much oil in still. I took paper towel to it before I flipped them again. I think just like non-stick, super high heat for like 1 second each. But I don't know if they're worth making. I don't know. What's it? That's my ear. Oh, good kisses. Good kisses. Okay. So I got about 40% into The Unbroken yesterday, and I decided to DNF it, which is looking good for Vish since it was her worst book of the year. I just found myself not caring, not paying attention. At one point, it went backwards like 10%, and I listened to that 10% again, and I was like, took me a really long time to realize that it had even gone backwards because I was paying so little attention because I just did not care about what was going on. So yeah, I don't really have anything to say. I felt it was kind of boring. It was very, very slow on the character work, but like not good character work. We're throwing that out the window. We are, you know what, at the end of the month at this point, I've already read 18 books for this. And I just don't have time for a book I'm not interested in. So I think that is a 1 for 1 for Vish. She gets a +0 at this point. So maybe I'll like her best book and then she'll bring home the win of Booktube Bestie. I have started Daughter of the Forest and I don't know how I feel about it. So there's something very like dreamy and beautiful about this writing style. And I don't typically like a lyrical writing style, so I'm finding it a lot harder to get into. But I will say, like, I am intrigued. I know that this is a historical fantasy, which like is kind of scary. I actually think The Unbroken is also a historical fantasy, so I think that's kind of interesting. A lot of Booktube Besties, I need to do like a Booktube Bestie stats video at the end of this, because a lot of people gave me books that had something in common, which I thought was really interesting. And I would also like to see the percentage of books I liked and the percentage of books I disliked versus like what they were supposed to be kind of style. Is that something you'll be interested in? Because I could do like a whole just like stat thingy. Either its own video, or I guess I could put it at the end of the next video because that will be the last video. Anyways, what was I saying? I was saying that honestly I kind of am liking the writing style, which is kind of shocking. I'm only like 3 chapters in, which is not far. It's a long book, but I'm not hating it so far. I also will say there's a lot of names, a lot of things that I'm supposed to remember, and I'm not really remembering who is who at this point, but I think it will get better as I keep on reading because there's just a lot of siblings. But I also have always wanted a story that's about a family at its core, and so I'm hoping that's what I get. I love TV shows that are about like families and they have like different generations within the family. I think that's something I really liked about the Game of Thrones. Another TV show that does that is like Lost in Space. The adults have things going on and the kids have things going on. I don't think we will see adults in this one, but with like 8 siblings, I will love to see like their sibling dynamic and their family dynamic and how that kind of adds to the story. And I'm hoping we will see that, but I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, anyways, I'm gonna go in the hot tub for a bit, so I'll see you guys soon. I switched to the audiobook and 10 out of 10 recommend. It is much better. I'm struggling a lot less with the writing style. Keep you guys updated. I just filmed a clip and I wasn't even recording. Does anyone do that? Because I do it all the time. Okay, I'm 30% in. Let's repeat myself. I'm 30% into this book. I think I'm using Audible. And I'm really annoyed. I know everyone's annoyed. Like, why doesn't Audible give us percentages? Like, can we get there? It's 2023. Give us a percentage on Audible. It makes no sense that they don't have it already. But anyways, at the point I'm at in the story, I've just gotten past the back of the book. So if you've read the synopsis on the back of this book, you'll know about like the curse and everything that's supposed to happen. I didn't know about it, and it doesn't happen until like way later in this book, which I think was really intriguing, and I think kind of talks about like back when this book was written, spoilers weren't such a big thing, and so like even though the curse, I think nowadays that curse would be seen as like such a big spoiler, but like it's not meant to be, and I think that that's really cool. That's on the back of the synopsis, but like I didn't read the back. I went blindly into this book, so I had no clue this had a curse involved. I had no clue it was a retelling, anything like that, until I talked to Maria, and Maria told me, because I was asking Maria, how long do I need to give this book? So it felt like a book that I needed to give time to before I made my mind up on whether I wanted to continue or not. And I kid you not, if I wasn't reading it for Booktube Bestie, if Maria, Ashley, Hannah, Vish all didn't love it, probably would have DNF'd it. But I'm happy I didn't, because I am enjoying it, and I'm actually just really intrigued to see how it all is resolved, which is very interesting because I don't like retellings normally, and I don't like whimsical writing or lyrical writing or anything like that. So I'm like shook. I'm a little bit shook. But anyways, at the point I'm at, we've hit the curse, and I will say I'm like, there's the part that I don't like, because I'm just like, in the story we're just told this will break the curse. You need to do this thing. You gotta do this, A, B, C, curse will be broken. But like, we're not really ever told why this will break the curse. And like, I'm like, how does 1 + 1 = 2 here? Like, I don't understand how this will counteract the magic, why she has to do it. And I think that's part of the reason why I don't like whimsical fantasy as much, is because like, I kind of just have to accept these things. It's just kind of like, that's how it works. But like, my brain wants to logic it. I want logic. So I'm hoping we'll figure out why, but I'm thinking I'm just gonna need to accept it. But anyways, at this point in time, I'm still intrigued. I'm really liking it. I think I said in the last clip, the audiobook is like highly recommended to help you get through it. Since if I want any resemblance of good lighting, I have to hang out in the bathroom at this time of night to do vlog updates, I figured I would actually do some skincare while we sat here. I'm being a terrible person. Makeup wipes are terrible for your skin, but I am going to use a makeup wipe and then a cleanser. But they are terrible for your skin, just so you know. You should not use them. Micellar water and a pad, cotton pad, much better, but I don't have those out here right now. And I have these. I did just want to say, like, there is a huge trigger warning that needs to be said for this book, and I don't think it is anywhere, mostly probably because at the time this book came out, like this book came out in like I think 1998, trigger warnings weren't really like, I mean they probably were still a thing, but they weren't a thing, if that makes sense. But there is a huge trigger warning for rape in this book, for sexual assault, and I think it is good to know that it's there. I didn't know it was there until actually about 5 minutes before, but I didn't know it was there until about 5 minutes before the scene, and I happened to be stumbling upon reviews and someone mentioned it, and so I do want to put it out there. I will say there is a lot of historical fantasy that has sexual assault as a plot device within the story. And I personally don't think that you can ever have sexual assault and have it not be a plot device, because it should, I shouldn't say plot device, I guess, like a character development moment. It should change your character. There's no one who goes through an assault and isn't changed because of it. So like it should change the story, which then changes the plot. But most of the time it's not done well. Most of the time we get like strong female characters after it. And that's not just the gist of it. Like it's more than that. It affects someone so deeply and darkly, and it shouldn't just be there to boost a character's strength, because it's not something that makes, like, it does make someone stronger, but it's not something that makes someone stronger at the same time. Like, it's not something that they should have to go through to become a strong woman. And I say woman because it happens most of the time in historical fantasy to women. It is a big part of what happened in history in that time period. Women were looked down upon. But essentially I just am here to say, like, I've rarely seen it done well, and this is a beautifully written book. It is not just a thing that happens, we move on from it. It affects her relationships with everyone. It affects her family relationships with men, because a man did this to her. How can she ever trust any men again? And like, it's just such an honest conversation about how it can affect someone. Everyone is affected very differently, and I thoroughly thought this was really, really, really well written. And if you are gonna write a scene like this, like, I was listening to the audiobook and I was cooking food, and Nick turned to me and said, "Are you okay?" And I was just like, this scene is hitting me hard. Like, the experiences this character is going through and the emotional ride. It's just, like, I was physically upset. My body language was upset about it, and I felt uncomfortable listening to it and reading it, and it was meant to do that, and it was just so beautifully written. Beautiful is such a weird term to say, because like it's not a beautiful moment, but like just the way it was handled was done with such care. And I honestly I just wanted to put a trigger warning there and just say, like, it discusses stuff so well. But yeah, I'm still liking it. I brought out my cleanser. I'm gonna go do my cleanser next, because I probably look like a crazy person talking to you, because I probably have mascara, like, just like raccoon eyes while I'm having this like deep conversation with you. So next clip I'll be makeup free. Okay, I finished Daughter of the Forest, and I honestly am shocked that I finished it in time for this video to go up at a decently planned time. I'm definitely later than I normally am on these videos, but like I read this book in like a day, and it's a long book. I did a lot of listening. I am very shocked by how much I enjoyed this book. I struggled with what star rating to give it, but this book is beautiful. Like I don't know how else to explain it. It made me feel uncomfortable. It made me feel happiness. It made me want to cry. It made me just like go through all the emotions with our main character. I have some complaints for it. One is that our main character can't speak for 60% of this book. If you know anything about what this is a retelling for, which is the like Six Swan story, I think is what it's called. In that tale, the main character's brothers are cursed, and then she has to relieve the curse, and she's not allowed to talk for that time frame, or else she'll never, like, there's more to it, but or else her brothers will never be saved. And I was really nervous about that. I do think that the author does a good job of always then having her, like, it not just told in her overhearing other protagonists talk. But I did say I had a small little quip with the fact that, like, she can't talk to anyone, but everyone just understands her. And using your hands, like, not having, like, a sign language, like, to speak to someone is harder than just you, like, I don't know how to explain it, but it just, like, it felt unrealistic to me that she never struggled to have people understand the things she was saying. It just seemed to, like, very naturally have them understand. And I think the concept of that was, like, the main people she was talking to were the people that she had, like, intimate connections with. So, like, it was kind of just about your body and soul and them just, like, understanding you on a level that is more than just words. But it just didn't quite work for me on terms of that. And other than that, I honestly don't have a lot of issues with this story. At the core of the story, it is a story about love, like, and connection. Like, that is the story. It is a story about familial love, so, like, the love of someone in your family. It is a story about romantic love. It's a story about love of your culture and your and the lore you've heard in your life. It's just a story about all these things that has to do with love. I do think that the ending for me was a little anticlimactic with the conclusion of the curse and, like, going back home. I think it's left open for future books, which I wish it was more concluded within this story. This is a really long series, but I think it's more like companion novels, but maybe I'm wrong. I know, like, the next book in the series follows the next generation. And I mean, I don't know if I'll continue. Like, this was such a beautiful standalone to me, and I kind of, like, want it to stay that way, even though it's not. But anyways, I liked this. This is not a story that I would recommend to people who'd have my typical reading taste, because I'm shocked that I liked it. But if you like the Bear and the Nightingale trilogy, please read this story. I think that this is so enriched with, like, the mythology and the lore and all of that. The way the Bear and the Nightingale is, it has the family bonds and the enriching of language in the writing style. It's so lyrical and beautifully written that I think you'll like both. I didn't like the Winter Night trilogy, which is what I'm saying. I'm shocked I enjoyed this, but I did actually really enjoy it. I gave it 4 stars. I just scratched the surface. So it's an 8 on my rating scale, which just, like, an 8 is the lowest 4 you can get. So yeah, it did get a 4, but just barely. Let's move over to the ending. I'm not moving positions, so see you in 1 second. Here we go. We're at the end of the 8th episode of Booktube Bestie. We have 1 more to go, but for the rating system, we're leaving Vish at a +2 because she gave The Unbroken 2 stars, and since I DNF'd it, I'm counting that as a 1-star comparison. So Vish actually gets +1 for The Unbroken. For Daughter of the Forest, I gave it 4 stars and she gave it 5 stars, so that's another +1. So she is at +2, and she goes right under Dom because I did enjoy Along the Razor's Edge more than I enjoyed Daughter of the Forest. But this was really, honestly, doing these is just like a reminder of trying books that I normally wouldn't, because I would have never, ever, 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 ever read Daughter of the Forest, but it was outside of my comfort zone. It's something I normally would say is anti-buzzwords, but I liked it. So I think that this is a reminder that reading is not one size fit all, and it's always about the story, not always the tropes and the writing style and all of that. Like, you can say you prefer one thing over another, but at the end of the day, if you can write a wicked journey, a wicked story for me, I can still enjoy things I typically dislike. And I love when I get reminded that. And I'm very happy, like a surprisingly good story that I would have never picked up. Anyways, if you have not subscribed to Vish already after this, you definitely should. I love Vish. She is an angel. So yeah, go do it. Just literally just go do it. The link is in the description bar. Click on her channel and hit that subscribe button. And you know what, while you're at it, do a little like on this video. I never ask people to like the video, but you could do that right now. And if you are feeling chatty, let me know what your thoughts are on this episode. Did you think I would like Daughter of the Forest? Did you think I would like The Unbroken? Let me know. I feel like this was another surprising episode, at least for me. And then if you're not feeling chatty and you'd like to leave me an emoji just to say you were here, leave me a bird emoji, specifically a swan. And then if you'd like to connect with me on other platforms, my Bookstagram, my Goodreads, my Patreon... I said that wrong. And then if you'd like to connect with me on other platforms, my Bookstagram, my Goodreads, my book Twitter, and my Patreon are all linked in the description bar below. Have yourselves. And if you'd like to connect with me on other platforms, my Bookstagram, my book Twitter, my Goodreads, and my Patreon are all linked in the description bar below. Have yourselves an absolutely remarkable day, and I'll see you in the last episode of Booktube Bestie.